You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And now, here's your host.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner. For the last couple of weeks, we've been unfortunate situation. We've been covering the tragic murder of a popular West Side Gabbay at Rabbi Moshe Vorhan Shlitz's Shtibel on the Upper West Side congregation of Heichel Moshe, referring to Yitzhak Elishayev, Yitzhak Ben Mazel, who was murdered in Turkey. They've been trying for the last couple of weeks to get his body back to the United States. Mayor Weill, the president and co-founder of Misaskim, has been tirelessly working on getting the body back, dealing with bureaucracy, both from the Turkish government, the United States Embassy. And Duvi Honig joins us, from the founder of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce, who was instrumental in helping getting the body back from Turkey. So, good luck. Let me welcome both of you to the program. Let me begin with you, Meyer, because I know you've been working for at least 2 weeks. Thank you for your effort. And really, it's not easy in dealing with bureaucracy and foreign governments and paperwork, and they always come up with something new. So, what's the latest?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Baruch Hashem, I am able to report that in Yetz Hashem tomorrow night, Igor Yitzchak Elishayev will be landing in America. The coffin will be coming into America, and we're preparing for a levaya on Monday morning. This was a lot of work, and a lot of work had to go into it, and I really, really have to thank Duvi Honig, who's on the line with us from the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce. His relationships were unbelievable. His relationships with the Turkish government, with the American embassy. Last Sunday, I know, which is an off day for everybody, he had people on the phone. Christopher Landau. He had big people on the phone to help and facilitate this, and that we can be where we are today. So thank you very, very much, Duvi, and welcome also.
Duvi, thank you. I know that you've been instrumental. First of all, how did you make all these connections all over the world, including in Turkey?
Zev, first of all, thank you, for and all the work you do. Zev, without you and bringing this awareness, I don't think me and Meyer would have met. So you're a partner over here. And then Yishliach, my son, last month of Shabbos heard the news, and he brought it to my attention, and he said, Tati, are you able to help? And that's when I contacted you and contacted Meyer right away, and Baruch Hashem. Now, how do we have these relationships? Zev, you yourself are no stranger to our organization, but
I want you to tell everybody about it.
Right. So, Baruch Hashem, the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce is a global umbrella of, think of it, the Chabad, the UN, and the business world. Wherever there's Jews, we're active. So we build relationships with governments throughout the world. Past 18 years, and Baruch Hashem, we sign MOUs with them. We have trade agreements. Literally, we're going to be hosting on Thursday World Trade Week on behalf of the United States of America. So think of America being the biggest economy in the world, celebrating world trade. And the Orthodox Jewish Chamber is hosting it in the city, and I hope you'll be able to join us, Zev. And what we're going to have, the head of U.S. Border and Custom Control for the tariffs. We're going to have different government, Azerbaijan. I'm going to have Turkey. I'm going to have we're honoring Korean airline, and we have many different trade ministers from Poland, or the whole world. The idea, really, what we built over here the past 18 years to help Klai open us is to use the strength of commerce to influence policy. And the same thing we have going with Turkey and with many other governments. We had strong relationships with Turkey, and the siyata d'shmaya is that besides us working with Turkey in close relationships from a business end and from a political end, I facilitated by my last JBIS. I introduced the Pakistani Council General and Trade Minister with the Turkish head of president of Turkish Chamber of Commerce, and they just signed the MOU last Thursday evening in the embassy of Pakistan next to your house in Manhattan. And I was there, and they got up together and they thanked the Jew, Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce, Duvi Honig, for facilitating the relationship between Pakistan and Turkey. And literally, Motzei Shabbos, when this case was brought to my attention, I already reached out to one of the signatories over there, and he happens to be the head of the forensic in Turkey, and he lectures them twice a year. So he went above the forensic, and as Meyer could tell you, they were closed on Sunday, but we got hold of them on Sunday, and we told them how important it was to take care of it. At the same time, we had issues as Meyer could tell you, on both sides. We had from the Turkish government red tape to cut, and then we also had the American government. So Sunday morning, I contacted Christopher Lando, who's a close friend of mine. He's the deputy secretary of the State Department. I mean, Rubio's the secretary, he's the deputy secretary, and he runs the whole State Department. And I told him, Christopher, this is emergency on Sunday. He says, Duvi, thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm on it right away, and we're going to help you expedite this. And then he sent me a message that we're going to expedite the paperwork, the same day. And we worked. Then I went back to the Turkish government, and then we had to deal with the forensic. We had to deal with the funeral home. We had to deal with and then May could tell you every second was another layer that we had to peel that came up. And then the prosecutor's office got involved right before we were having the body released, and they got involved, and I had to use the relationship directly with the president of Turkey, the office who we work closely with, to tell them that I need them to get involved. And they were able to make a conference call all together and be able to, straighten all that out. And Baruch Hashem, what's very important, by the way, to mention, and me and Meyer had this conversation, is the Turkish government personally asked me to send our condolences to the Orthodox Jewish community. And it's very important that I repeat the effort. They asked me a few times to send the deepest condolences to the Orthodox Jewish community on their behalf. And it's important that everyone hears this, because they have to understand, regardless of politics, we work with commerce. We have relationships through commerce, through relationships to bypass politics. Like this, we were able to help over here, and that's we're able to help so many others. So we have to acknowledge their messaging as caring and wanting to help, and like this, we can help other people. And I'll just finish with one other thing, just to tell you, like literally tonight, Motzei Shabbos, I shared with Meyer. I got a message from Mohammed Ben Salam from Dubai tonight, Motzei Shabbos. He asked me, and he's the sheikh in Dubai, in UAE. He asked me to repost something on LinkedIn for him, because we work very closely. So I reposted him with a compliment, and then he reposted what I reposted. And these are the biggest people in the Arab world, and we're like friends. And this happened tonight. So I showed it to Meyer. I said, listen, this is how we keep our relationships. We're friends, we work together. And this whole thing, there were no fights. Meyer could tell you, I'm sure he's involved in all these things. Sometimes you're fighting people, and you have to fight governments, and yet everyone, Meyer, can you witness this? I said that everyone worked with us because of our relationships, and it was a whole different
100%.
experience. There was no
100%.
there was no fighting, there was no threatening, there was nothing. It was literally layer after layer, and from the forensic to the prosecutor, to the president's office in Turkey, to the U.S. State Department. Everyone, we have relationships. The Orthodox Jewish Chamber establishes relationships, and Baruch Hashem, we're able to help Kleisfeld.
Thank God. It's an important thing. Big mitzvah, Duvi, what you did, and can erase.
We all do. We all did together. We're all partners.
Let me ask Meyer, and I think it's important because it took 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks. I'm not sure when the murder exactly took place. According to the Turkish media, Yitzhak was stabbed to death by the Airbnb host that he was at. The guy got drunk supposedly and stabbed him. I don't buy the story. There's more to it. But the first priority was, and the complication that you had was that at the last minute, the prosecutor's office wanted somebody to identify the body. Nobody in Turkey was going to be able to identify the body. So Yitzhak's aunt and uncle had to fly out to Turkey to identify the body. That's what got the last step of the phase. But let me ask this question. There's another component here, and I am of the opinion, and of course, the first priority is to get the body back to the United States, so you should have a Kfurs Yisrael, a Jewish burial. It's a Kavod Hames. It's the respect for the dead, for the deceased. But there is about $40,000 to $50,000 worth of equipment, camera equipment, that Yitzhak took. He was an amateur photographer. He took it there. It's been my belief, speaking to some of his friends, that this was a crime committed. I don't know if there's anti-Semitism involved, but certainly maybe a financial motive to steal the equipment. Do we have any idea about this equipment? Mayor,
So on Friday morning, I spoke with the aunt that's there in Turkey. She did say did say something that she's bringing back a lens and a computer. Not She doesn't know all the equipment. The camera itself they may want to keep for the investigation. But there is some stuff that she is bringing back. We are working on it, but again, our focus was on Yitzchak naturally, and now we're gonna
Mm,
now we're gonna work. She met with the
So,
prosecutor. She was in court. I think she even may have seen the murderer in court. Ishmael Kara, I think his name was. But we're definitely focusing on it now. Now that we know Yitzchak's on the way back, we're gonna focus on it.
so Zev,
Duvi.
let me just add that I spoke to the president's office early this week, the second we had the green light, and I told them the story and the Turkish government that they stole the equipment and they were unaware of it. And I told them we want the equipment back. It's $50,000 equipment, and they said they're going to be on top of it right away. And I'm happy to hear that some of the equipment is being returned. But anything and everything that it was stolen, we're going to make sure is going to be returned. And they're working with us, with me personally, closely on this. And Mayor, if there's any information or is there anything that you hear that you know that's missing or that was returned, they want me to bring it to their attention, and they're going to go full force and get it back for us.
we had Yochanan Sushan together with Rebbitzin, Sarah Vorhand, Esquire, talking about this, and Yochanan helped Yitzhak buy the equipment. So that's why we have an estimate of 40 to 50,000 worth of
Okay,
equipment, because he helped purchase it, and all the equipment was taken to Turkey.
so send me the list. Zev, send me the list of the equipment, and I'll give it to the president's office right away. That's what they need because they said they're going to help get everything back, and they're furious. I told them first I want to finish with the body. Now I brought this up to their attention, and I'm going to give them the list.
Very, very important. Do we have any details of when the funeral is going to be, Mayor?
Yes, the funeral, I'm not sure if I sent it to you. Give me 1 second. The funeral will be Monday morning. Okay.
It's going to be in
The fu-
Queens, if I heard
It's
correctly.
gonna be in Queens at 63-36 99th Street. I believe at the Millennium. I'm not sure what it's called, but the address is 63-36 99th Street in Rego Park, New York, 11374. That's at 9 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock it will be in Wellwood Cemetery out in Long Island.
He deserves it. I want to thank both of you. And Mayor, I know, first of all, you as with the co-founder of Misaskim, which deals with these kinds of issues and help burial. It's not usually as complicated as this, being in a foreign country, which is its own challenging, and you don't speak Arabic and they don't speak English a lot of the play. You had to find a funeral home that speaks English and cooperate. And I know you called the police station and they never called you back. So there's a lot of work that had to be done. So it took 2 weeks. It could have taken longer. So thank God. And Duvi, thank you for your efforts in facilitating with the Turkish government, with the American embassy in Turkey, to make sure that Yitzhak's body does get back to the United States. And God willing, he'll be back tomorrow night. And God willing, the funeral will take place. And then we can deal with some of the other issues. And we have to also make sure the murderer gets what's coming to him.
Yeah, we're going to make sure. We don't worry about that.
Did you speak to the Turkish government regarding?
Yes. They're
Are
going
they
to throw
investigating? Some of these countries, they don't really investigate so far.
that's exactly the point. They're just going to throw the book at him. They told me.
Are they going to throw the book in him? Okay,
I'm going to get them to throw the book, and we're going to get the material back. Don't worry, there's no question.
Duvi, it was mentioned, and you should know that they're considering this an international murder.
Yeah.
Because
What does
of
that
the
mean,
citizen.
international murder? They treat it differently in Turkey if it's international murder?
Yeah, because he's a dual citizen of United States and Israel, and for what he may have been killed for, besides his equipment, that he was Jewish, so it raises the bar.
Do they suspect anti-Semitism in the murder? Is that what you're hearing?
I didn't hear that, but at the end of the day, he is Jewish and he
And
was
Israeli,
killed.
Israeli
So
citizenship as well.
Listen, to make it clear, like also like we mentioned last week briefly that that Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce myself got involved in the body of the when they murdered the shliach in UAE, and they ran to murderers, ran to Turkey. It just took me a few hours to get the Turkish government to go arrest them and send them back to the UAE where they're going to be executed. We have a great relationship, a working relationship with Turkey. I'm going to be with them twice this week alone, and they're going to be by Thursday by our event also. And Meyer invited you to come. Hopefully, you'll be there to Lucy this summer with locals because we deal with over there as well in Turkey to understand and to show appreciation, but also to understand the depth of our relationship through commerce. They have no interest. This is not political. This is not Israel. This is nothing to do with it. They want to show a straight front. They asked me many times to share our condolences, and they want to show a tight fist over here to show us, to show me, to show our relationship, and to show our community why we represent. That this has nothing to do with politics, and they are going to take us to the highest level. So they're going to go above and beyond, really, to make sure that this animal really gets the book thrown at him, and we get the materials recovered at all costs. As you see, all the tape we cut, Mayor, the layer after layer was really, and the people working together on the highest levels. On Sundays, they're working with us, even if the forensic was closed. The heads of all the people there, they're all into it. Every level of government, of department, and investigations. And they're all friends. They're all working with us, and they kept on telling me, Duvi, we're partners, we're friends, we're your partners and everything, and we're here. And we're going to work and make this, and we're going to work this out. So there is a motivation here from the government itself to take this on the higher level. And trust me, I am not going to stop breathing down the back just to make sure that the real justice is delivered over here. Bezrat Hashem.
Anyway, thank you, Mayor Weill, the co-founder, president of Misaskim, and they deal with this kinds of issues day to day. Thank you for 2 weeks or more of work trying to get the body back.
thank you, Zev.
Thank you,
Thank
Duvi.
you,
I know
thank
we
you.
wanted to listen. I knew Yitzhak for over 10 years, and it's just such a tragedy. And I just remember being together with him just not too long ago, and just to hear they went to Turkey and just to be so brutally slayed. It's senseless. Yeah, I just don't understand it, and that's why we want to make sure that like the body gets buried here, and also justice is done. All his equipment should be gotten back to his family. This is the least that we can do for him. So thank you, Duvi Honig of the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce for what you're doing, all the work that you're doing, and we'll look forward to have you back in the future. Keep us posted about any new developments.
And thank you, Zev, for taking the lead over here, coordinating this to help make this happen. This
Thank
mess mitzvah.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Duvi. Thank you, Zev.
Shavua Tov.
Okay,
So-
so what?
Shavua tov.
There you
Bye-bye.
have it. Really important work that Misaskins did in the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce to make sure that this Mace Mitzvah, the popular Gabbay of Rabbi